So you got the side hustle ID and you are sure that this is going to change your life. But the question that is stuck on your mind, how can you get it off the ground successfully? Well, this is exactly what we are going to talk about in this video. I'm going to explain to you why focusing on one specific problem is going to be your key to success. Let's get to it. The first thing that you need actually to keep in mind when starting a side hustle is you have limited time, but you are trying to compete against people that could potentially do that full time. So the way you can compete against them and provide a solution that can actually compete on this marketplace and can actually generate you a lot of money is by focusing on the right thing. The idea is not focus on big problem. No. The reason is simple. Big problem mean complex and difficult solutions that will take time. And as a side hustle, you don't have that much time. So the idea here, because if you focus on a big problem, what will happen? You will have an average solution. An average solution doesn't sell very well. So the way you want actually to go about it is focus on a small problem but delivering an outstanding solution. The idea of the fact that you have limited time means that you need to reduce the scope. Okay, find a small problem that people have that you can provide an outstanding solution. And there is multiple good things about this idea. First of all, with a small problem, you can finish a first version, what is called an MVP, minimum viable product. And actually start testing. So a minimum viable product is not an outstanding solution, but is the first version of your product or service that you can test and get feedback on. And because the problem is small, you can get to this point very quickly and start getting feedback to iterate and slowly but surely get to this outstanding solution. So that's kind of the first point I wanted to make here. So second, how actually are you going to deliver outstanding solution? This is what we are going to cover right now. So outstanding solution mainly come about how much you are able to provide value. And value come from doing either two different things. Either you are going to save time to your customer or reduce the cognitive load. That's really the two main ideas. And to give you an idea of what reduce the cognitive load is for instance things that ChatGPT reduce cognitive load, because a lot of things that are posing on your mind that can take time, or not really take time, but you have to think about it, that take a little bit of energy, that's something that if you could delegate it, you could do something else outside, and so that doesn't take you that much energy. So that's kind of the idea. Whatever problem you are facing, always think about, okay, how can I make my customer save time on this process? Or how can I get it done faster? Or reducing cognitive load can be also said as making it easier. Just as long, because the human mind is kind of a lazy brain, you know, and so as long as you can fulfill that desire for laziness that the brain have, you will reduce the cognitive load that can come with it, reducing the number of choice and so on. There is also this idea that I like to think a lot about, is the idea of zero friction. You want to reduce friction, and that's something sometimes as experts when we are building solutions we forgot about, but because when we are building solutions or services, sometimes it's, for us, it's obvious. It is easy. That doesn't, I mean, why on earth is this complex? Well, for someone that come to the service or product you have with no context, how easy it is for that person. And if it is not zero friction, which means if it is not absolutely obscenely obvious to that person what they need to do and how they need to do it, you can improve something, you can provide more value. And to do that, you cannot do it by yourself. You have your head so much on the thing you're working on that you cannot possibly imagine where are the sticking point. This is where having user tests, and I would even argue people that don't know anything about what you're doing, the more they don't know about what you're doing, the better, because you will see, okay, they are sticking here, there is a sticking point, a sticking point, a sticking point. And so you're making a list of all the sticking points that the person have, and you realize you try to find solution in order to make it easier for them to understand what to do, so reduce the cognitive load that to take the decision, or you can just entirely remove some steps. Maybe there is steps that can be completely removed, and so you are saving them time. See, reduce cognitive load, save time, and so on. And you iterate through all those points, and you get someone else new as well. See where, after you made all those updates, where are the new sticking points, because there is always a new, and you iterate like this. And the fact that you are focusing on a small problem, you can actually, first of all, it's much easier to market, to explain what you are trying to solve when you are trying to solve a small problem than when you are trying to solve a big problem. I mean, that's kind of all the things that I wanted to share. But I believe that as long as you stick with that, your side hustle is going to be a success, because you are working on constraint in terms of time and development. So stick to a simple problem and try to provide outstanding solution, and try to iterate as quickly as possible by getting user feedback of people that first don't know anything about what you're doing, then get people that know a little bit of what you're doing, and switch back and forth between those two types of people until you have a solution that is completely zero friction. So thank you for watching, I'll see you next time.